Hey guys, this is video number 1 on force and motion. So if you've gotten your packet so far, then you're looking at week 1. So we're going to be talking about force and motion, properties of matter, and you guys are going to be creating your own paper airplanes. If you haven't received your packet yet, you can go ahead and watch this video, or you might want to wait until you get your packet and then re-pull this up. So I will jump on every day and we'll just talk about what you're doing. We'll review some of the stuff that we've already talked about. And then at the end, you can post any questions that you might still have about what you're working on at home or what I put on our YouTube channel. Okay, so day 1, you're going to be folding your paper and you're going to be making your 4 different designs that are in your packet. While you're doing this, I really want you to be thinking about how this fits in with force and motion and properties of matter. So as a review, let's talk about some of our vocabulary words. So hopefully you guys have your science notebooks with you, or you still have your ring with all of your flashcards on it. If not, that's okay. I have mine, so I'll put them up. The only thing is, if you have your own, then you can be studying them and looking at them more frequently at home. So some of the words that we want to look at while you are doing this experiment this week, of course, is the word force. So force is any push or pull out there. So we've talked about that. So any push or pull in the universe. So if you are pushing your siblings, or if you're pulling a wagon, those are all forces. Okay, so keep that in mind. Next one is a new one. This one is a lift. So lift is the upward acting force. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit more through the week, but be thinking while you're doing your airplanes how lift could possibly fit in with that. All right, your next one is weight, which we've talked about weight, and I know these are probably backwards for you guys, so I'm sorry about that. But weight is the pull of gravity on an object. Then you have thrust. Thrust is also a new word that we're going to add that you probably don't have on your ring, along with lift, because we are talking about airplanes, so I wanted to add a couple of other words in there that might fit in. So thrust is the forward acting force. And then you have the word drag. Drag is the slowing down force. So these couple of words you might want to take and add to your ring with your force and motion. I can't remember what color we picked. I'm thinking purple for our dots at the top, but you know better than I do. So you might want to add these words if you don't already have them. Okay, you should have friction. Friction is when 2 objects rub together. It's also the opposite of motion. Very good. Okay, so when we're going in one direction, friction is working in the opposite direction. Friction. All right, balanced forces. Balanced forces are when 2 objects are equal in size, but they are working in opposite directions. So if you might remember in class, I probably had 2 students come up, remember hands to hand, 2 equal in size students, and they're palm to palm and they're pushing towards one another. So if they're equal in their force, then they're probably what? Right, they're not moving. Probably, right? Okay, so if you have somebody on one side and somebody on the other, they're pushing opposite directions, so one's pushing towards you, you're pushing towards them, but you're equal in your size and you're equal in your force, then you're not really moving. Or if you put that force on an object as well. So balanced forces. All right, and then we have unbalanced forces. So when one object is greater, has a greater force than the other. So same thing. I think I used myself and one of the students, remember, in class. So if I'm pushing opposite towards you and you're pushing towards me and I have a greater force or you have a greater force, then we are unbalanced. So we're going to move in the direction of the person that's weaker or the object that's weaker. All right, and then last one, acceleration. So we read about acceleration in our science books. We talked about this one a little bit. I can't remember if we made a flashcard on it. So if we didn't, go ahead and do that. If we did, then you should have it. So acceleration. We talked about how when we hear that word, it makes us think of just going faster. But actually, acceleration is going faster. It could mean slowing down. It could mean changing directions. It could mean stopping altogether. And it could mean starting from a stopping point. So keep that in mind. So all of these words that we just went over, we're going to talk about them some more this week, but be thinking about them, be looking over them, and as you're making your planes and as you're doing your experiment throughout the week, I really want you to be thinking about how these words fit in, okay? So that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow, a little bit more about how these words fit in with our airplanes and their flights. Before I get off, a couple more things I just want to mention. Make sure you're checking our Google Classroom. I started Seesaw, so there's some assignments on there, but they're not mandatory. They're more for fun and to keep in contact with you guys. I just started Seesaw, so I wanted to play around with it. I think you guys are used to it with Miss Moore, maybe Miss Allen too. So jump on Google Classroom. Make sure you're checking that stuff out. A couple of places that you can go, and I'm gonna try. Maybe I was gonna turn my camera around so you could see it better, but let's see if I can do this. So a couple of other places you can go. I wanted to do it this way so that it's not backwards, but it still is, isn't it? Okay, hang on. I thought I could turn my camera around. Well, okay. So a couple of other places you can go. Study jams. We've done that in class. So that's Force in Motion. So just type in Force in Motion when you go to study jams. Epic. Epic is, I hate this is backwards. Epic is a website that has a lot of books on it. So I went ahead and made a collection. So if you go to Epic and you get logged in, you type in Force in Motion. I have a whole book collection in there on Force in Motion. You don't have to read all of the books, but maybe pick one or two that look interesting to you. I also put a Spanish version of one of the Force in Motion books on there too as well. So that'll just kind of help along with our vocabulary and you guys doing your experiment, just kind of put everything together. And then also Discovery Education is free right now. So if you go on Discovery Education, type in 5th grade Force in Motion, just sign in with your Google account and it'll come right up. And you can, again, type in 5th grade Force in Motion. There's all kinds of books and videos on there for you. Okay? All right. Well, I hope you guys have a great day and enjoy making your airplanes. And I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. Bye.